Haka says, you asked, what is it progressing towards?
What is it? What are we progressing towards? I guess is the question. What is
Hopefully full
progressive?
communism.
What does progressive
Hopefully full
mean?
communism.
In America, never.
I'm not
America's
satisfied with
already a
progressivism.
communist country.
I was satisfied with Barack Obama when he was in office, but now, 4 years later, I look back at Barack Obama and I say he has promises unfulfilled. He was an imperialist, droning motherfuckers, and I don't like him that much anymore. I want somebody way more progressive. I want Bernie Sanders. I want AOC. I want some real progressive motherfuckers in there representing the people.
But when you say representing the people, it's going to be the government that's going to be making decisions for the private lives of people. At least that's how it was in the USSR, where my family and I came from. So it's not so much a dictatorship of the proletariat, because in that system you still have to have a hierarchy.
That's not the kind of communism I want, and I don't think the Soviet Union was a good representation of true communism.
What would be a good representation?
It wasn't real communism.
What would be
America's already a communist country.
I don't think we've seen it. I don't think Venezuela is a good example of it. I don't think we've seen a good example of socialism or communism, the kind that I'd like to see. It's going to be a lot more closer to what Norway has.
Then why do you want it?
Than what Russia had.
Then why do you want it?
Because if you look at Norway, they have a much higher quality. The people in the Scandinavian countries have a much higher quality of life.
They don't even say that they have a much higher
quality. The average American does.
They don't even. They don't call themselves socialist countries even at all. They completely
democratic
deny
socialist.
that label.
I'd be satisfied with the democratic socialist America.
No, but Chris,
right now I'm
Christo,
pulling for full communism.
Hold on,
their
but Chris,
rates aren't even nationalized.
Yeah, you're talking about the Nordic
based.
countries. The Nordic countries, they hate the label that Americans say, like, "Oh, you're socialist."
That's fine. I don't really care what they.
No, but that's
think of the
not
label that we
what they
give
are.
them. What I really want is for the workers
compared to
to have
America, they're
control of
probably-
the means of production. That's what I'd like.
That's
For
what
the
you
workers
like,
for
but the question-
nationalized industries.
But Chris, that's what you'd like. The question is that the result that ends up coming about when such a system is institutionalized?
I don't think we've seen a good example of it. The kind of education that would require and the political will for the system that I want to have happen, be
so you're
like
talking about
educating
magic.
everybody.
So you're
basically.
talking about magic here. You're still talking about somebody
I don't
coming
think it
in
goes
here
against human nature,
like
but I think
a
it
messiah,
requires
like
a
some-
massive education
Well,
campaign.
I think the problem is that the new true communism thing. Again, this isn't my line. This is BAP's line about how the Soviet Union, they had essentially 70 years or so to perfect communism, and they I get it's true that it wasn't exactly 100% in line with what true Marxism is, but at the same time, I mean, if anything, you could say the fascists had a better claim to that, that because they were destroyed from the outside rather than the inside.
I'd be satisfied calling myself a Marxist because honestly, I haven't studied Lenin or too much of these philosophies.
Well, the interesting thing about Lenin, by the way, is that towards the 20s, Lenin figured out that the kind of system that he had operating in Russia wasn't going to work, so he even slightly started to open up the free market with the new economic policy, where people could actually start some businesses and start making some money.
Yeah, yes and no. I wouldn't call it free. What Lenin did was different, I think, than
well, he opened the door slightly, but even with that slide door opening, I think it allowed for much more improvement over time. I mean, Chris, I think
Lenin had better ideas than what came after Lenin, put it that way.
Well, Chris, I agree with the end goal that you want in mind. I think that would be a nice end goal for people to not, I mean, that's a whole other discussion. But
I think we should share the wealth. That's my main philosophy. Share the wealth. Okay. Make sure nobody goes hungry. Everybody has a place to live. Everybody has clean food and water.
But as far as whether the things that you have in mind, but as far as actually having that come into fruition, it's like, these are all great things. Like, I would love for everybody to never have to die of cancer or whatever. I can't just snap my fingers and have it.
But what I'm talking about is actually accomplishable. It's definitely within the realm of possibility with the wealth that we have. We just have to distribute. We just have to distribute it better.
How do you handle
ever
distribution?
going to happen ever in a way?
It's never happened in the past, and if we don't will for change, we're never going to change. I mean, if we're going to be stuck in the past, then that's fine with you.
Unimaginable bloodbath.
No,
maybe not like North America.
Bullshit. That's your idea.
It will never.
No, but it can only work
that's human history, man.
Gio is 100% right. It will never happen in America, ever. It happens in Europe. We have that.
Sounds like pure defeatism.
You need a homogeneous population.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
achieve a lot of that. Yeah.
If you look at Northern Ireland, okay, Northern Ireland is not exactly homogeneous because we have like multiple cultures living within our country, but as a country, it is the widest country on earth. You know what I mean? According to the last census,
Which country is?
Northern Ireland.
Right?
According to the last census, we were 98.
Ulster. You're talking about Ulster.
But are the Irish
Ulster-
white though? Are the Irish
Well,
white?
that's another debate.
Is
But,
Ulster the same thing as Northern Ireland?
No, they're not. There's 3 counties that make us different. We're
Oh my God, this is so technical.
the
I love this
entirety of
shit.
the entirety of Northern Ireland is within Ulster, but Ulster is larger than Northern Ireland, so that's the easy way of solving it. Also, there's nothing. Ulster is just a province, but it doesn't have any political standing. You know what I mean? It's more to do with like rugby teams than it is to do with.
I mean,
politics.
I love hearing you explain it, but I don't feel like I'll really understand it at its core.
I mean, it's whatever. It's not too important as to what Ulster is. What I'm talking about is Northern Ireland, right? And so, what you can look at is that we're a country that is, at least in a broad sense, ethnically speaking, extremely homogenous. You'll probably not find many other places that are as homogenous as us, especially within Europe. We have that, and we have basically everything you're looking for. We have entirely socialized housing. You know. We have that. We have a massive benefit system. We have free healthcare. You know, we basically have nationalized railways. Almost right. Because we're still within the EU, we can't. And that's an interesting quirk within the EU, is that no railway system can become fully nationalized. But we're pretty much there where you want to be. You know what I mean? America.
You think Ireland is pretty socialist?
No, not Ireland. I'm talking about Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland is pretty socialist, is what your point is.
Right. You know, and we're not progressive. In fact, people are vehemently against a lot of the ideas of liberalism and progressivism. In fact, only recently we had gay marriage and abortion laws forcefully enacted upon us. Because this is true, by the way.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Right.
Oh
So
God, here we
stupid. That
go.
is so
Here we
stupid.
go. And yeah,
Okay.
Rick
Oh
said
my
it's-
God.
The
Do
thing is
what I
that
say because a guy said so. Like, it doesn't make any sense, man.
the thing is that the people here like constantly had rejected it, because we have a, whether you're Catholic or Protestant, and even though we've had our disagreements on those sorts of things, we're both agreed on shouldn't kill babies and sodomites shouldn't marry. And I'm not doing that to be rude. I'm gay.
I was raised
you know what I mean?
Catholic. It's cool, bro.
Yeah, so am I. I was raised Catholic. I'm a homosexual. I don't think we should be married, and I think there's
Right on.
aspects.
I'm
there's
an
aspects-
atheist, of course, because I was raised Catholic.
Well, I think we've
That's
just
a
taken
very
different-
Protestant thing to say. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've taken different paths, quite literally. But
Atheism is just Protestantism. Let's face it. Oh, never
Right.
mind. Sorry.
but what I'm saying, my point is that you will never achieve what we have here in Northern Ireland, not even close in the US, because
Defeatism, bloody defeatism.
it's not defeatism. It's just that the American left and the Northern Irish left see 2 different paths to the same thing, and the American left is prioritizing a lot of let's face it, liberal nonsense, right? As some weird trajectory towards the socialist utopia, when in fact you have to head the opposite direction, which is what is shown here, right? We're here, and we've had none of the things that a lot of the American left desires, right? In this idea of the
How did you get to where you are?
theft and violence.
We have to do IRA to get to where we have to be the IRA to get to where you are. Are you serious?
Oh well, no. I grew up in a very loyalist background. I hate the IRA, you know, but yeah, to some extent. Of course
Oh,
you
I'm
do.
based, blue pilled. No,
I'm not on base and blue pill. My family was murdered.
Don't hate me because I'm
This is
Antifa.
I'm a Catholic. Okay?
Right,
I have to impulsively support the
Yeah,
IRA.
well, listen, you're North American. That's why you have to impulsively support
Yeah,
the
that's
IRA.
true. It's a romantic North American thing. It's true.
Exactly. But yeah, of course, this idea like that you can somehow just gradually get to something. No, of course not. You know what I mean? Like for a dramatic change to the structure of your nation requires a dramatic push towards that. And this idea of like voting for Biden or whatever, you know, and then I'll rail on Biden when Biden gets elected. Of course, nothing's ever going to happen that way. You know what I mean? And I'm not being a
Elitism.
defeatist.
They pulled
No,
LBJ left.
Listen,
They-
listen. I'm not being a defeatist.
OBJ left.
I'm not being a
Jesus
defeatist. I'm trying to compel you to action.